Aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese Case Stories. Cases judged by Bao Gong. Bao Gong, whose real name was Bao Zheng, was a political figure during the Northern Song dynasty. Renowned for his integrity, incorruptibility, and divine-like judgment in resolving cases, he was affectionately referred to by the common people as Bao Qingtian. After his death, he was revered as a deity by the populace, believed to be the god of justice in China. According to Taoist legends, Bao Zheng was the reincarnation of the celestial Wen-Chu star, and after his death, he became the fifth judge among the 10 Yama kings to adjudicate the ghosts in the underworld. In China, there are numerous legends and literary works about Bao Zheng, making his name widely recognized. Over time, due to the reverence of the people, some stories about him even contain elements of mythology. This series of books, whose author is unknown and believed to have been written during the Ming dynasty, primarily narrates stories of Bao Zheng's judicial verdicts. We hope that friends will enjoy it. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called Reconciliation with Amitabha Buddha. In the county of Shaogan, Dun Prefecture, there was a scholar named Xu Xianzhong. Xu Xianzhong, just 18 years old, was handsome and elegant in appearance. Living opposite Xu Xianzhong's residence was a butcher named Xiao Fuhan. Xiao Fuhan had a 17-year-old daughter named Shuyu. Shuyu was exceptionally beautiful, rarely leaving the house and spending her days embroidering flowers in her upstairs bedroom. Shuyu's bedroom faced the street, and every time Xu Xianzhong passed by her house, the two would steal glances at each other. Over time, they gradually developed feelings for each other. As days went by, the two began to communicate secretly, with Xu Xianzhong confessing his feelings and Shuyu smiling and nodding in agreement. That night, Xu Xianzhong stealthily climbed up the ladder to Xiao Fuhan's house, where Shuyu took his hand and led him to her bedroom. It wasn't until the break of dawn that Xu Xianzhong bid farewell and departed. They secretly agreed to meet again at night. Shuyu suggested, "I'm worried that someone might see you if you lean the ladder against the building at night. I'm going to place a round log on the beam and hang a piece of white cloth. I'll drape half of the cloth over the log and let the other half hang down to the ground. At night, you just need to hold on to the white cloth tightly, and I can pull you up from upstairs. That way, it'll be much more convenient." Xu Xianzhong happily agreed upon hearing this. When night fell, he indeed returned as promised. This went on for half a year, with Xu Xianzhong and Shuyu meeting in secret. Some neighbors gradually began to notice, but Xiao Fuhan and his wife remained oblivious to the affair. One evening, Xu Xianzhong was invited by a friend to go drinking and did not return home promptly as the night grew late. At that moment, a monk named Mingxiu happened to be chanting sutras on the street in front of Xiao Fuhan's house. Mingxiu saw a piece of white cloth hanging from upstairs all the way down to the ground. Mistaking it for laundry, he attempted to steal it. As he approached to take down the cloth, someone from upstairs pulled it, lifting him up. Realizing that someone was engaged in improper activities upstairs, the monk quietly allowed himself to be pulled up. Indeed, he found a woman at the other end of the cloth. Feeling excited, the monk lightly said, "It seems fate has brought us together, "Young lady, if you allow me to stay here tonight, it would be my great fortune, and I will surely be grateful for your kindness." Shu Yu, realizing he wasn't Shu Xianzhong, panicked and said, "I am a married woman. How can I be with you? I'll give you a silver hairpin, please leave quickly." However, the monk persisted, saying, "You pulled me up. Since I'm here tonight, I must stay." He then forcibly embraced Shu Yu, trying to win her favor. Enraged, Shu Yu shouted, "Help! There's a thief here." But her parents were already asleep and heard nothing. Worried about being caught, the monk drew his knife and killed Shu Yu. After killing her, he took her silver hairpin, earrings, and ring before leaving. The next morning after breakfast, Shu Yu's mother went upstairs to check on her daughter, only to be surprised to find her dead in the room, with no clue as to who the culprit might be. At this moment, some neighbors who held grievances against Shu Xianzhong said to Xiao Fuhan, "Your daughter has been in frequent contact with Shu Xianzhong for over half a year. Last night, Shu Xianzhong was drinking at his friend's house. He must have taken advantage of being drunk and mistakenly killed your daughter." Upon hearing this, Xiao Fuhan hurriedly filed a complaint to Magistrate Bao Gong, accusing Shu Xianzhong of murdering his daughter. He also wrote in his complaint, "I accuse Shu Xianzhong of raping and murdering my daughter. Shu Xianzhong is a person of deceitful and wicked character. He saw my daughter's beauty and schemed against her by any means possible. Last night, he sneaked into my daughter's bedroom with alcohol and a knife, intending to rape her. But my daughter resisted vehemently, so he, in a fit of rage, stabbed her to death with the knife. Before fleeing, he also stole several pieces of jewelry belonging to my daughter. Neighbors near my house can attest to this incident. His actions disrupted the peace and violated the law, causing chaos in the community. I implore you, Magistrate Bao Gong, to promptly adjudicate this case and bring justice for my daughter." At that time, Bao Gong's reputation for integrity was impeccable, and his judgment and insight were unquestionable in the eyes of the people. Upon receiving this complaint, he immediately summoned the plaintiff, defendant, and other relevant witnesses, preparing for the trial. Bao Gong first questioned the witnesses. Both the neighbor on the left, Xiao Mei, and the neighbor on the right, Wu Fan, confirmed that Shu Yu had been staying in the upstairs room along the street and had been involved with Shu Xianzhong for over half a year. They had successfully kept this affair hidden from Xiao Fuhan and his wife. While this clandestine relationship did exist, it did not involve rape. As for why the victim was killed, everyone was truly unaware of what happened that night. During the interrogation, Shu Xianzhong said, "It is widely known that I had private meetings with Shu Yu, and I admit to that. If your honor finds me guilty in this regard, I have nothing more to say. But I did not commit murder." Xiao Fuhan retorted, "He only admits to minor offenses but denies the major one, yet the evidence is clear. Only he had been to my daughter's room. If it wasn't him who killed her, then who could it be? He must have killed my daughter out of anger because she wanted to end their relationship. This young man is arrogant and reckless. How could he care about a woman's feelings? If your honor does not use torture, how could he confess?" Bao Gong first looked at Shu Xianzhong and noticed his handsome appearance and refined demeanor, which didn't seem fitting for a vicious criminal. So, he asked him, "When you were with Shu Yu, did you see anyone passing by downstairs?" Shu Xianzhong replied, "I have never seen anyone passing by before, but this month, there has been a monk chanting sutras and passing by at night." Upon hearing this, Bao Gong became furious and exclaimed, "It seems you are the one who killed her. Now, do you willingly confess?" Shu Xianzhong, feeling panicked and even desperate, replied, "Yes, I confess willingly." Thus, Bao Gong sentenced him to 40 lashes and sent him to prison. Bao Gong then privately summoned the bailiffs Wang Zhong and Li Yi, asking them, "Do you know where that monk who chants sutras lives?" Wang Zhong replied, "That monk rests every night by the statue of Guanyin at the moonlit bridge." Bao Gong instructed Wang Zhong and Li Yi to act according to his plan in secret. That night, the monk Ming Xiu once again chanted sutras and passed through the streets. Around midnight, he prepared to return to sleep under the bridge. Suddenly, there came 3 voices resembling ghostly cries from under the bridge. One cried from above, one from below, and another sounded like a low sob. The sobbing was poignant and sorrowful, making it particularly terrifying in the quiet night. The monk quickly sat down on the bridge and began chanting the scriptures repeatedly. At this moment, one of the ghostly voices became clear, sounding like a woman. She cried out, "Ming Xiu, Ming Xiu. You wanted to rape me, but I refused. My lifespan in the mortal world had not yet ended, and you had no right to kill me. Yet, you senselessly took my life and stole my silver hairpin, earrings, and ring. I have reported this matter to the King of Hell, who sent 2 ghosts to accompany me to the mortal realm to take your life. Now, you incessantly chant scriptures here, wanting to reconcile with me. Then you should offer me some wealth to help me through this phase of being a ghost. Otherwise, I will report this matter to the heavenly court. Then, the Jade Emperor will surely come to take your life. Even if you try to rely on the power of the Buddhas, you cannot save your life." Terrified, the monk Ming Xiu held his prayer beads and replied, "I was impulsive and desired to rape you. But seeing you resist and cry out loudly, I was afraid of attracting attention, which led to me accidentally killing you. Now, your jewelry is still with me. Tomorrow, I will buy some wealth and chant scriptures again to help you pass through. Please, do not report this matter to the Jade Emperor. I will sincerely repent." The female ghost continued to weep, and the 2 ghosts also clamored, making the scene even more terrifying. Ming Xiu had no choice but to resume chanting scriptures and promise to help the female ghost pass through again tomorrow. At that moment, 2 constables emerged and immediately restrained monk Ming Xiu with iron chains. Startled, Ming Xiu asked, "Are you ghosts?" Wang Zhong replied sternly, "Bao Gong ordered us to arrest you. We are not ghosts." Ming Xiu was petrified and could only kneel down, begging for forgiveness in the name of the Buddha. Wang Zhong sneered sarcastically and said, "You are truly a villain disguised as a monk, committing murder and daring to use the Buddha as an excuse." They then proceeded to lock up monk Ming Xiu. Meanwhile, Li Yi gathered the monk's belongings and accompanied him to the magistrate's office. It turned out that Bao Gong had arranged for them to hire a prostitute to create ghostly sounds under the bridge, extracting a confession from monk Ming Xiu. The next day, monk Ming Xiu was brought in chains before Bao Gong. He confessed to everything that had happened, including the attempted rape that led to murder. Bao Gong also ordered a reward from the treasury for the prostitute who had impersonated a ghost and then instructed the constables to escort her away from the magistrate's office. Additionally, Bao Gong found the silver hairpin, earrings, and ring hidden in monk Ming Xiu's tattered robes and asked Xiao Fu Han to confirm them. Indeed, these were the belongings that Xiao Fu Han's daughter had worn. Monk Ming Xiu had nothing to say and could only admit his guilt. Bao Gong summoned Xu Xianzhong and said to him, "The monk killed Shuyu, and he should pay for it with his life. But you, as a scholar, meeting privately with someone else's daughter, also deserve punishment. There is another matter to consider. You were not yet married, and Shuyu was not wedded to you. Although you had some private interactions, it could be seen as a kind of marital relationship. Shuyu set the white cloth for you, which misled the wicked monk and ultimately led to her death in your place. This woman did not compromise her integrity, and her conduct was beyond reproach. Now, you have two choices. First, you can remarry, but that would tarnish your reputation. Second, if you want to preserve your good name, you must treat Shuyu as your lawful wife, honor her memory, and never marry another woman. Which path will you choose?" Xu Xianzhong firmly replied, "I know Shuyu's virtuous character. She set the white cloth for me out of her affection for me, and that's why we met in secret. I have no other intentions. We had planned to marry once I passed the imperial examination. However, we encountered this wicked monk. How could I remarry after her resolute sacrifice? Now, I only wish to bury Shuyu properly and treat her as my lawful wife, to honor her sacrifice. As for my conduct and future prospects, they depend entirely on the emperor's favor, and I never thought of them much." Bao Gong said happily, "Your attitude shows your good character, and I will recommend you to the academic official." Bao Gong then drafted a report on the matter and submitted it to the academic official. The document detailed the private relationship between Xu Xianzhong and Shuyu, as well as the unfortunate outcome caused by the appearance of the wicked monk Ming Xiu. Bao Gong expressed understanding towards Xu Xianzhong and affirmed his attitude in the document. Finally, Bao Gong requested the opinion of the academic official to resolve the thorny issue concerning Xu Xianzhong's status as a scholar. Upon receiving the document drafted by Bao Gong, the academic official promptly drafted a judgment according to the circumstances. Subsequently, Xu Xianzhong was allowed to continue his examinations and successfully passed the provincial examination. He returned joyfully to express his gratitude to Bao Gong, saying, "If it weren't for Lord Bao's help, would have long been a ghost trapped in prison. How could I have achieved what I have today?" Bao Gong smiled and replied, "Now, should you consider marriage?" Xu Xianzhong answered, "I have promised not to marry another." Bao Gong continued, "Filial piety has three aspects, and having no descendants is the greatest disobedience. Now that you are fully devoted to your career, you cannot fully honor your parents." Xu Xianzhong replied, "I can now fully support my parents, but marrying and having children may not bring them peace of mind. Bao Gong consoled. Now that you have gained fame, your wife Shuyu, if her spirit is watching, would surely be comforted. Even if she were alive, she would want you to remarry. Since you consider Shuyu your lawful wife, marrying another woman as a concubine does not violate your promise. However, Shu Xianzhong insisted on his stance and refused to accept Bao Gong's suggestion. Consequently, Bao Gong instructed his colleague Tian Zimao to act as a matchmaker and forced Shu Xianzhong to marry the daughter of the Hua family as a concubine. Shu Xianzhong reluctantly followed the marriage rituals and married the daughter of the Hua family as a concubine. In the end, Shuyu's name remained in Shu Xianzhong's family genealogy, with no mention of the Hua family daughter's name. Their story became a popular tale, while Bao Gong's exoneration and assistance in securing an heir were deeply appreciated by Shu Xianzhong, akin to a towering mountain or a vast ocean in its profound and far-reaching impact. Alright. Today's case story, Reconciliation with Amitabha Buddha, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.